Hello everybody and welcome to 2013 Guilford Varsity Lacrosse. It's the SCC Semifinal versus Xavier played on May 21st. The winner of this semifinal matchup will go on to meet Fairfield Prep, who won earlier today against Daniel Hand. The Guilford Indians had beaten the Xavier Falcons just 11 days ago. The Indians had trailed at halftime 4-3 and they came back to win it in a barn burner, and that score was 7-6 Guilford. At the time Guilford beat Xavier 11 days ago, Xavier had been number 1 in the L division. Guilford had been number 4 in the M division. Again, the winner of this contest goes on to the Southern Connecticut Conference Championship game to be played at Ken Strong Stadium in West Haven at 7 p.m. on Thursday night. Neither of the two teams come out of the gate on fire. Guilford does manage to get shots off, as you'll see in this play right here. John Lusitano takes it around the net and fires back in, but the goalie makes the stop. Here it's Xavier's turn. They're trying to work their way in, but number 13, Tyler Nelson, gets a piece of it, and he manages to come out with it. The two teams are taking turns, trading turnovers. Here number 21, Mark Lusitano, creates a turnover, and he comes out with it.
A turnover?
Next up, Xavier is trying to push it down inside. They move it around the net, and the defense is doing a great job of giving them fits. As they try to pass it down low in the middle, it gets broken up. And number 5, Zach Catarusa, comes away with it. Both teams are getting their shots off, though. And here, it's James Bright that deflects for the save. There's a lot of effort out there and not a lot of scoring. But Guilford's defense is hanging tough. Coach Brian White's giving instructions to the troops. The next play has Robert Larico, number 29, get it to 24, Kevin Carrigal, who normally gets it over the middle, but this time he gets it to number 9, Andrew DePatty, over the middle, and DePatty has a point-blank opportunity, but Xavier's goalie blocks it. Xavier's goalie's having a pretty good night, as here he is against number 29, Larico, and he gets another save. We're still scoreless with under a minute left in the first quarter. And here, Xavier's offense works the ball around behind the net. They try to come in low, but Zach Catarusa makes a nice defensive stop in there. But they work it out to the wing to number 2, Parker Reed. And Parker Reed fires a sidearm heater, and the Falcons take the lead 1-0 with 42 seconds left in the first quarter. And although giving up the first goal was heartbreaking, it's compounded by the fact that number 14, Greg Onofre, scores the second goal only seconds later to make it 2-zip Falcons. The Falcons have quickly mounted a 2-goal lead, and that's the score at the end of the first quarter. And as I forgot to mention earlier, this game is being played at the home of the Daniel Hand Tigers. In the second quarter, the defense still working as hard as they possibly can. Here's number 21, Mark Lusitano, creating a turnover. Nice job by him. The Falcons dig a deep hole for Guilford when they scored their third goal with great passing. 1, 2, 3. And I believe it's number 18, Tyler Kroll, who makes the deposit with 9:10 left in the half. The Indians are down but not out. Number 18 here, Frank Ramphone, slips a little bit, but he gets the pass away. It's down to Andrew DePatty, and he has it knocked free. The ball's flirting around in front of the net, and Ramphone comes up with it again. He gets it to number 32, John Lusitano, who finds number 9, Andrew DePatty, wide open. And DePatty makes the deposit before you could even blink. DePatty cuts the Falcons' lead to only 2. Guilford needs their leaders to be scoring if they're going to win a big game like this, and Andrew DePatty is certainly one of them. Here he runs around the outside of the defender and drives the lane up the middle. He fires a rocket, and he cuts the lead to 1 only a minute later. This game is turning out to be quite a battle as these two teams are pretty evenly matched. Playing great defense and creating turnovers are very important in a game like this. And here, number 13, Tyler Nelson, comes away with another turnover. And here, number 7, Freddie Trotta. He's doing some great defending. Xavier works the ball around the perimeter. They wheel it about. And as they go back around the back of the net, They have somebody set up in front of the net. It's 17 to number 18, Tyler Kroll. And Kroll's got another goal. And he puts the deficit back to 2 with only 3:40 left in the half. But before the end of the half, it's Guilford's turn. Number 13, Tyler Nelson, gets it out to number 5, Zach Hadaruza. And Zach's a senior defenseman, and he scores. Zach Hadaruza, number 5, senior defenseman. And with that goal, it's 4-3 Falcons. The Guilford Indians are now within 1. And that also turns out to be the halftime score. Freshman goalie James Bright is now 12-3 as a starter. And when you see stops like this one, you'll understand why. The Falcons are still looking to put their talons on the throat of the Indians. As they move the ball around and behind the net, sooner or later comes back to number 23, Brandon Moore. And Moore fires the pass a little high, but number 17 makes a great play on the ball. That's Wesley Reed, and he scores the goal to make it 5-3 Falcons with 8:34 to go in the third quarter. The Indians are still getting their shots off. Here's number 6, Mike Serra. But Xavier's goalie, he's making all the stops. That's number 20, Matt Gojowiak. So now with time winding down in the third quarter, the last thing the Indians want to do is go down by 3. But that's just what happens here. As the Falcons make a nice play, they get the ball over the middle, and number 26, not on our roster, he scores the goal, and he puts the Indians in the hole, 6-3, with 6:20 left in the third. The Indians are really going to have to work if they want to get out of this hole. The intensity of the game is picking up, and the Falcons want the knockout punch here. But James Bright does his job, and the defense comes to his aid. But both teams are going at it. There's a struggle, and Mike Rink still has it, but he gets relieved of his stick, and the ball's on the ground. But Tyler Nelson alertly grabs the loose ball and moves it upfield quick. Over to number 32, Lusitano, to number 24, Carrigal, but Gojowiak steps in and ends the threat. The Indians start to settle down a little bit. They're moving the ball around on offense, and they're getting shots still. The ball ends up down in the corner to number 29, Robert Larico, and he takes a nice shot, but it's just a hair wide. But Mike Ring's there to make sure Guilford maintains the possession. So the Indians come back from a timeout, and they do the same thing. They're working the ball around. This time it's number 11, John Altieri, down in the corner, and they get it down to him, and his shot is just a little bit inside. So the Falcons get the ball back, and number 9, Andrew DePatie, puts on one of the best forechecks I've seen in a while. He gets the ball out, and that's responsible for leading right to the score that Guilford next comes up with. It's DePatie himself from behind the net, and he's got himself a hat trick. But with just over 6 seconds left in the third quarter, Guilford's got a lot of work to do yet, as they're still down by 2. But the Falcons will take the ensuing face-off with only 6.7 left in the quarter. It's number 14, Onofre, to number 23, Moore. Let's say hello to James Bright, number 31, for the Guilford Indians. Nothing less than an outstanding clutch performance by him. Coach White huddles with the team before the start of the fourth quarter. And all I could say is, fasten your seatbelts, folks. You're not going to believe this fourth quarter. Andrew DePatie, who already has a hat trick, gets another opportunity here, but he's just off the mark. And as I mentioned earlier, you need your team leaders in a big game. Here's number 32, John Lusitano. He gets it over to number 9, Andrew DePatie, who brings it back to Lusitano, who makes a nice fake spin move and heater skip shot up the lane to put the Indians back within 1. It's now 6-5 Falcons, but there's still plenty of time left in the game. 10:52 left in the fourth. The intensity of the game is raised even to the next level. Here's number 21, Mark Lusitano on defense. He's putting on some great pressure. And here, number 5, Zach Hadaruza deflects the shot. The Indians get the ball back because Bright was the furthest back. It's number 5, senior defenseman Zach Hadaruza coming out with it. You may recall that he scored a goal earlier in the game, but the lane's not open for him this time. So he does what the Tacks haven't done all night. He finds Kevin Carrigal over the middle, and Carrigal gets the easy shot on net, and he ties the game. The Indians have come back from a 3-goal deficit to tie the game at 6 with 9:49 left to go in the game. Zach Cataruza to Kevin Carrigal. As evenly matched as these two teams are, and both of them still thinking that they have a chance to win this game, the intensity increases and everybody in the stands are holding their breath. And the effort put forth by both teams is commendable, as you'll see in this play here. So when Xavier finally comes up with the ball, the coach calls timeout. There's 9:11 left in the game. And no matter what has happened to this point of the game, it's how you finish. So the Falcons come back out, and number 6, Bob Coleman, has freshman number 25, Nathan Tepley, on his heels like a piranha. But Coleman manages to get around and get the shot off after a pick. But it's how you finish. James Bright stops another one. And then with the Falcons with the ball again, it's Tyler Nelson on the defense here. And him and James Bright team up to make this stop. The ball bounces high and Zach Catarusa comes away with it. And so Guilford has it back on offense. Number 16, Mike Ring, down behind the net to number 9, Andrew DePatty, who just gives it off to number 32, John Lusitano, who creates his own shot here. It's another skip shot heater that gets by the goalie before he can even see it. Team leader number 32, John Lusitano, gives the Guilford Indians a 7-6 lead with 6:43 to go in the game. Again, there's still plenty of time left in the game. And the Xavier Falcons are not the kind of team that are going to lay down. On this play, number 21, Brian Candy, decides to take matters into his own hands, and he fires a shot down the lane. It's a slow shot, but it gets in. And the shot may have been deflected in front of the net. The game is now knotted at 7 with 5:50 to go. The intensity kicks up even another notch. Here on a bad shot, James Bright gets back far enough to win the possession once again for Guilford. And on a subsequent play, well, just watch James Bright here. You're going to be nothing but amazed. What an amazing clutch effort by this freshman. The quarter continues with great effort by both teams, but it gets down late before anybody scores again. Number 7, Freddie Trotta, creates a great turnover right here. Andrew DePatty takes a shot, but it's deflected. It goes down into the corner, and there's a scramble for the ball. There's a bunch of pushing and shoving. And then right in front of the net, the ball's flirting around. Number 13, Tyler Nelson gets it, but he's hammered. And number 14, Brian Donahue, returns the favor. The refs are letting them play, and we're still knotted at 7 with 1:52 left in the game. Number 27, Eric Zergabel, gets off a couple of shots, this being the second. But the goalie stops both of them. It's now under a minute, and Guilford's moving the ball upfield. Number 5, Zach Cataruza, gets the ball. He's moving in on net, but they close the lane on him. Coach White calls timeout with 41 seconds left in the game. So here's the situation. 41 seconds left, knotted at 7. Number 27, Eric Zergabel, manages to get his third shot off, but that goes wide. Still Guilford maintains possession, but time is still running down on the clock. We're headed for overtime if somebody can't score here. Andrew DePatty tries to hit Kevin Carrigal over the middle. The ball comes out, but John Lusitano alertly picks it up. He gets it up top to number 6, Mike Serra. He makes a move, then he dumps it off for number 27, Eric Zergabel, who fires his 4th straight shot, and this one goes in. With 15.7 seconds to go in the game, Eric Zergabel, number 27, junior midfielder, has put the Indians on top 8-7. This game will end almost exactly like the first meeting with the Xavier Falcons. The Indians are up by 1. The Falcons have the ball with seconds left, and they have opportunities but an errant pass limits their chances. Still, the coach calls timeout with 3.9 seconds left on the clock. If you're a Guilford fan or player at this point, you're hyped up. The Falcons do get a chance with 3.9 seconds left, but it's deflected wide. And the Guilford Indians have won the semifinal of the Southern Connecticut Conference. They'll go on to play Fairfield Prep Thursday night at 7 p.m. at Ken Strong Stadium in West Haven, and the winner of that game will be the champions of the Southern Connecticut Conference. The Indians were defeated by Fairfield Prep in the last game of the regular season. Fairfield Prep has also won 5 of the last 6 Southern Connecticut Conference championships. So the Indians will surely need your support on the sideline. Please come out. Thanks for watching, everybody.